Hey guys, I've been getting asked a lot of questions recently on how to start. If you've been following me for a second, you know that I have successfully lost about 170 pounds, a little bit more, in the last year and a half or so. So the question I've been getting a lot of is, how did you start? Like, how are you able just to get to that point where you said enough is enough? I keep trying and I keep failing. And this topic, this question, it's very near and dear to my heart because I get it. I remember back in my binge eating days, I just wanted some relief. I just wanted to be able to stop. And I wanted to get from there to here, but I didn't know how. So I get it. I completely get it. So I thought I'm gonna make more than one video on this, but I'm gonna start with this one that I'm gonna talk about right now. Just my notes. A question for you. First question I would ask you is, are you ready? Okay, are you ready? How do I start? The first thing you need to ask yourself is, am I ready? What do I mean by that is, are you ready to stop? Are you ready to change? Because here's a really common problem. I used to be in this class as well, guys, so I'm not throwing shade on anybody. But the real common problem is we all want to be freaking skinny. We all want to lose the weight. I'm not saying we all want to be skinny, but we all want to lose the weight. Yeah, we're ready to lose the weight, right? But the real question is, are you ready to make the changes that you need to make to lose the weight? And that's a very, actually a really strong question, because part of asking yourself that question is looking ahead. What are you going to have to do to lose the weight? What are you going to have to do to change to become the person that you want to be? Because losing weight, we think that's the end goal, guys, but it's not. What we really want to do is we do want to lose the weight. We want physical relief. We want to have freedom in what we can wear and how we move and how we live and how we look. We do want that, absolutely. And that seems to be our motivating factor. But the thing is that we actually want to be different people. Because the person that you are right now is the reason that you have the weight problem. So, if we look at some habits, I'm going to just use myself as an example because we're all different. We all have different habits. We all have different issues, but a lot of our issues are quite common. So, for example, for myself, the kind of person I was that was able to weigh, over 370. At one point, I was over 380 pounds. The person that allowed myself to become that was very unmotivated. I was addicted to food. I was addicted to the habits. There was habits that were keeping me overweight. I'm going to say that I was lazy, and that I wouldn't do anything, because I did. I still had a lot on my plate. I still had a lot going on. But I was lazy in taking care of me. I was taking care of everybody else, but I wasn't making myself a priority. Not that we have to become number one or anything, guys. It's just a matter of, I guess I wasn't important enough. And then two, there was a lot of denial, right? A lot of denial, I don't have to do that much, I shouldn't have to do that much. I should be able to eat what I want. There was, a lot of excuses. So I made a lot of excuses. I wasn't A lot of times I wasn't very in touch with reality. These are the kinds of things that made me the person that was able to become that overweight. Now, you may only need to lose 20 pounds. You may only need to lose 50 pounds or 100 pounds. I obviously had a much longer journey, but it's the same steps. I mean, it could be 5 pounds. It's the same steps. What is it that you're going to have to change to reach your goal? And as far as food plans, I don't even mean that, because there's a food plan out there for all of us. There's not one food plan that's for all of us. There's a food plan out there for all of us, but it's not all going to be the same food plan. So not even that necessarily. It's just, what is it going to involve? What is it going to take? And are you ready? Are you ready to quit? Are you ready to stop? What is it that you're doing that's causing you to be overweight? Are you ready to stop? Are you ready to change? And I'm just going to put the brakes on right now. If you weren't ready, you weren't ready. If you weren't ready, you weren't going to change. And that's point blank. If you're not ready, it ain't going to happen. You can keep trying and thinking that you're trying, but the truth of the matter is you're not willing. You're not willing to make the changes that you need to make to become the person that could weigh whatever your ideal weight is, or to lose the extra pounds, or to, for just to get healthy. If you're not willing to quit the bad habits or willing to begin the good habits, you're not ready. And if you're not ready, well, go out and have some fun. Go out, I don't know, go to the buffet. Go have some more fun. Go, just, do what you want. But, I mean, just the honesty. You've got to be honest with yourself. Are you really ready? Are you really ready? And just ask yourself that. Okay, to stop for a second and think. Am I ready to do what I need to do to become the person that I want to become? To lose the weight that I want to lose, to get in the shape that I want to get in. And this goes with any goal. You could put this something completely different, like you want to get a better job, or you want to go back to school. Are you ready? If you're not ready, then stop acting like you're trying. And try to get ready. And this is so funny because so many of these things are connected. Like, I was a fairly heavy smoker for a long time, and you know what I did? I prayed for the willingness to quit, because I knew I didn't want to quit. I didn't want to be a smoker. I didn't want, the wrinkles. I didn't want the lung cancer. I didn't want, the money down the drain. But I didn't want to quit. I wanted to smoke. I rather enjoyed it. And, eventually God gave me that willingness. And now I'm almost 5 years smoke-free. But the same. I mean, this goes with any goal that you have, but in particular, since we are talking about weight loss and getting healthy, are you ready? Okay? If you're not ready, there's nothing you're going to do that is going to work, because you're just not ready to make the changes. Okay? All right. So, now we got that down. If you're ready, sorry. The next step, and I'm not going to make everything in this one video because it's going to be too long. So ask yourself if you're ready. If you're ready, then we're going to need some clarity. The next thing you need is clarity in what do you need to do. Or this could even go first. I mean, these two steps are kind of together. So you need the clarity of what it is that you need to do. You have to get clear, and you have to know exactly what it is that you want to do or you need to do to accomplish this goal. So when I'm working with somebody, the first thing to help get clarity is what we need to find out is what works for you. Okay, so think about like what has worked for you in the past. If for most of us, this ain't our first rodeo. This isn't the first time that we tried to lose weight. In fact, a lot of us have lost weight successfully. We just haven't been able to keep it off, or we haven't been able to stay on the wagon for very long. So, you, you can look back over your history and see what has worked for you before. I remember back in, I think it was like 2007, I did Weight Watchers, and I just loved it. When I first started, I was flying on the scale, the first 2-3 weeks, and I talked to my mom, and I was like, this is perfect, it's wonderful, you should try it. And she asked me, because she didn't want to spend the money on Weight Watchers, and she didn't want to go to meetings, but she said, what do you think is the biggest difference in what you're doing now to lose the weight and what you're doing before, as in not losing weight or gaining weight? And I thought about it, and I thought, and this is what I realized at that point when she asked me that. The biggest difference for me and from Weight Watchers versus nothing was structure. I had a plan. I knew what I needed to do. I knew what I was going to do, and I was able to follow that. Now, I didn't, I think I was in Weight Watchers for 2 to 3 months, and I think I was probably about 6 weeks, maybe even less than that, and I was already binging. What I was doing was I wouldn't really eat anything in the day so I could save up my points for the evening, so that I could binge. I just like that. One of my triggers is volume, so I just like to eat a lot. So that's actually one of the things I had to do to be successful at this. Was I don't do volume, which is why I weigh and measure. I personally weigh and measure, but I certainly don't think everybody needs to. So just keep that in mind. So just think back on just different things that you've done in the past. What has worked for you? And then I need you to get a pen and a paper, and I need you to write down the foods that you always overeat. All right, what is it that you always overeat on? Is it desserts? Is it breads? Is it chips? French fries? You're going to start seeing some clues on foods that give you a lot of pleasure. Okay, and then the second thing, so write down all those foods. And then the second thing you need to do is write down the behaviors that lead you to overeat. One thing that I just mentioned above was something that leads me to overeat is eating a lot. Sounds strange, but once if I have a lot of volume, like I like to eat a lot of volume, even though I would eat till I was sick. There was something about eating a lot of volume that was very comforting to me, I guess. Another behavior a lot of people have is eating in front of the TV, eating while driving, eating on the phone, while talking on the phone, maybe BLTs, like picking while you're cooking, or picking at your kids' food, and then all of a sudden you're making yourself an extra sandwich too. Anything like that, like what kind of things like that lead you to overeat? So write all of those down. Write down all the ways that you've tried before that worked. And also on the other side, write down the things that you tried before that you hated, that were just absolutely not a fit for you. Let's say, for example, one of the popular diet right now is the keto diet. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Did you love it or did you hate it? Did you feel better on it? Did you feel worse? If you tried it, which it seems like everybody has. I swear everybody's tried the keto diet. So write all those down. Which ones did you feel best on? Like, what plan did you feel the best on? And you're going to start to see a path coming out in front of you where you're saying, oh, there's a similarity here and there's a similarity there. You're going to start to see connections on what's going to work for you. And as you write these things down, for me personally, I did cut out trigger foods. You may not have to cut out trigger foods. I call them trigger foods. I don't really care that a lot of specialists say you shouldn't do that. Eating disorder specialist track record is bad. It's not working. So it's up to us to find out what works for us. I personally did cut out trigger foods. If it comes to that for you, it may come to that for you. Just be open to whatever. But it may not. I mean, a lot of people don't have to. They just don't have to. They just know, like, maybe they just avoid things. Now, I don't avoid things. I completely cut out, for example, added sugar. I don't eat any added sugar, period. Because for me to avoid or to moderate ain't happening. I'm an all or nothing kind of girl. And that's part of knowing myself. I know that about myself. And that has helped lead me to success. After so many attempts of trying to moderate or trying to cut down a little bit. Didn't work for me. And then there's other people who are moderators. If they try to abstain from something or cut it out, it makes them want it more. For me, when I cut it out, it takes away, I don't want it anymore because I'm not getting like little pieces of it. So I don't want it anymore. I don't need it anymore. I don't crave it anymore. And then there's other people that are moderators, where they are the opposite. If they try to abstain from it, all of a sudden that's the only thing they want. So know yourself. You've got to figure this out about yourself. You've got to start learning about yourself to know yourself. Okay. So you're going to start to see a path coming out. And obviously, this isn't a one-on-one thing with anybody, so I'm just giving you guys some guidelines. Once you start seeing your path come out, are you ready to commit to that? Do you see what you need to do? And one of the biggest things I can say is so simple, but it's absolutely, absolutely 1,000% key to my success was I knew what I needed to do. I couldn't look to the right, to the left. I couldn't look at, keto or carnivore or high carb, low fat or raw vegan. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different ways of eating out there. There's so many different ones, and they're all good. I mean, for the most part, all of them are going to work if you follow them. But you need to find one that specifically works for you, and you need to commit to it. I had to know 100% that this is what I had to do, and I had to just stay there. Just stay there. Like, stop looking around. Stop thinking, well, I'm going to go try the Dukin diet, or I'm going to try the cabbage soup. No, stay where you're at. Find something that works for you, that you think will work for you, and do it. But you have to stick with it. You have to know, and I mean know, that that's what you need to do. That for me has been absolute key to my success. And I'll make some on this later. Have a great night.